we're now ready to start off with the white, and again I just do my little slip knot here. I'm a little more generous on the tail than I probably should be, but I don't mind cutting that. So this is where I stopped, and I'm just going to turn this whole project because white is all going in on one side, color is all going in on the other. So now it's all turned around. I'm going to slip in right in between the middle. You can always count your stitches on both sides if you're really not sure where that is. And you can actually see there's a color differential too before when we started and stopped. And we just want to fasten on, and I'm doing it my method, the way I like for myself. Okay, those 2 and 3. Okay, so I can just leave the straggler down so I can lose it. And so basically every one of these pieces in here are going to get a double crochet. So we've got to make sure we get everything. So remember that we were down underneath and everything had 5. So by this one here, everything will have 6. By the time we get this section done. And it gets 6 because where we started off in the corner is adding an additional stitch, if that makes any sense, the V stitch at the corners. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we've got to create the box like we did underneath. So this is automatically, we're not worrying about how we skipped over 4s or anything. All we need to worry now is that we chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to build the bridge, and we're building the bridge over this group of 5 stitches, and we're going to double crochet in between the groups now for 2. Okay, so we're just going to build the bridge, 1, 2, and 3. Going in between the next section, and then 1, 2, 3. So you can see how easy that this whole round would be in comparison. So you got a little bit of work on the color, but on the white it's just a matter of blazing around 1, 2, and 3, going in between the gaps there. 1, 2, and 3. We're looking. Okay, so now you have a gap. You have like the 5 there, plus you have here. So you just have to look. Okay, do you see how the white's kind of slipped under here? This means that this is the first stitch, and all of these 5 are together. You could have counted that too. So we're gonna just match the one that's right here, the very first one. Okay, for a double crochet, and we're gonna double crochet ourselves all the way to the corner. And you're going to do this all the way around for every corner of this. And if you did your math right, you should end up with 6 by the time you get to the corner. So we got 5 so far. We got the corner here. Here's your 6. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to go back in for that's your V stitch, and then you're going to keep on going on your project. So keep on going with that. We're going to meet back up, where we'll meet back up and slip stitch, and then join on your next color, and this one will be blue this time. Okay, and we're ready to go again, and we're just coming around back. So again, we have our group like we normally did on the other side, like I just showed you. So we're just going to skip over the group of 5, and we're immediately going to come into the very first one that's over here, and you should end up with your 6. Okay, so we're just going to double crochet like I showed you before. So that's 4, 5. Okay, and then the 6th one is right in the corner itself for this, where we started. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to slip stitch, and you're going to just fasten off the end, and we're going to move on to your next color, which will be the blue. And you'll notice, do you see how this is like building out? So it's getting wider and wider. The blue is the final one before we start then narrowing it back down, as you've seen in my website on the blown up picture. So we're now going to get ready with the blue. We're going to fasten on. We're going to turn our project around again so that remember, all white's going on one side, all blue's going on the other. So I've already turned it around. We're just going to slip it, or sorry, fasten it on. And 2 and then 3. And so now you have even more stitches to work with here. So we're just going to go right into the very first one underneath. This one's a little tight. I think I might be rushing myself too. So we got 1. So we already got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one is 7. So we now have our 7. Okay, and that makes sense because we had 6 underneath. Now we have 7, and now each gap is going to get their 5. So 5 double crochets in a row right on the same box there. And then we immediately, just like before we did on the red, we just immediately just jump over and do that all the way around. And then basically what we're doing on the ends when we get all the way to the other side. So let's fast forward to that moment, and I'll show you what we're going to do on the other side of this particular flat space, and you're going to do it on the same as when you get back to the rest of it as well, or when you go all the way around. So I just now finished this gap space, and now we're just ended up with all the corner again, and we're just going to immediately just double crochet into the beginning double crochets that you see, and we're going to do that all the way to the corner, finish the corner off with the V-stitch, and then repeat exactly what we just did when we cast it on. And just the same process, we do our V-stitch and then just keep moving along, and there should be a total of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the corner for 7. V-stitch. Okay, and then we just keep on going the same way. Just keep going, double crochet, and it's just like we did over here. We double crochet and then we gap it, and then you can see what we're doing. So let's finish off this round. We'll come back, we'll slip stitch, and we'll move on to the next level. So we're coming back all the way around, and now it's just the final section before the slip, and we're just going to come in and we got to make sure we have our 7. So we're going to come in, chain 1, and then slip stitch it just like we did before. And now let's do that. We're going to cast on your next color, which be the white. So we're now looking at this thing, and you can see that the corner is getting bigger and bigger, and it's now time to bring that corner back into check, because we're now going to add on another box that's going to appear here, because there's now enough room to add on another box, and we need to do that in order to keep this Afghan growing consistently. So we're just going to grab our white again. Let's do our slip knot and fasten on in the corner. Okay, and we want to chain up 3 as we normally have been doing. So 2, 3. So now what we're just going to do is that we're just going to come in down underneath, and we're just going to put in 1 double crochet. Okay, and we're going to immediately start the next box. So every time you finish the blue on this particular Afghan, the next one up is going to do this. So this is your repeat pattern, everybody. So I don't need to go much further in this tutorial, because everything is a repeat from what you've already seen below here. So 1, 2, and 3. And so now look for the last 2 before the 5 starts. So 1 and 2, and that's going to be where you go in to form the other side of this box. So 1 double crochet in the first one, 1 double crochet in the next one, and then we immediately then just jump over and we create the box. So 1, 2, 3, or create the bridge, and we're just going to go into the gap space like that for another 2. So every time you finish blue, when you're going around this, or whatever color you decided, right here is where the repeat pattern is going to start. So in order for you to be able to add more boxes, so it's just going to build up slowly like this. The next one is going to build up and up and up and up, and then it's going to come back narrow again, as it looks like in my video, or it looks like in my website. So we're now coming to the other side of this, and we got to also condense this back down. Okay, so what we're going to just do, here's the gap space. We're going to immediately double crochet into the first. Okay, so we got our chain 3. We're going to immediately double crochet into the first one over here, and then the second one. We're going to do both of them, 1 and 2, and then we're going to immediately go into the corner space over here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 to building the gap. So we're going to build the gap over top of all this, and we're going to come immediately into the one just before the corner. and we're going to go right into the corner, and then we're going to do our V-stitch. So 1 and then back into the same corner, and we continue that all the way around doing that. So you can see that even on this side that we've added a new corner to there. So let's continue to go all the way around. We're going to meet back up where we're going to slip stitch, add on the green, and then I'm going to leave you to do the rest of this tutorial on your own. So we now come all the way back around. We have the same situation that I just showed you because it's happening on all of the corners that we're trying to simplify it to being looking like this. And again, we just look for our group of 5, which there it is. We're going to come to the one directly after that. Make sure that you do chain your 3 before you do that. To make sure your boxes are consistent, you're going to go into the first 2 with the double crochet each, and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then we immediately come into the 1, so we're going to skip all of this, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and we just want to come in to the very last one, and then to the corner, where we're going to finish it off with the V-stitch and a slip stitch to finish this off, and we're going to add green as your next option. So you can see that now the corners are starting to come back narrow again, just like you see in the picture on my website. So we're now adding green back to the equation of this, and we're just going to fasten it on, coming in. So basically we're just going to maintain everything that we've already done, and you can see the repeat pattern is starting to take effect, which is really easy for you to really complete this without having to look at a book, I guess. So we just attached it in the corner, so we now have 2 double crochets in a row. Remember down here we had 4 when we started, but now it's going to be looking like this. For every time you get green, the next layer, or the layer underneath, is only going to have 2 double crochets. Okay, so we're now immediately into the gap, so of course we're going to fill that gap in with 5 double crochets. Okay, 5 double crochets as we've been doing before, and then immediately we just jump over to the next gap. So that's all we have to do. Let's meet back up on the other side of this flat space and keep on going, and you can see that there's really not a lot of labor when it comes to maintaining this terrific pattern. So we're now back on the first corner, and basically we just have to match exactly what we did over here. Do you see how we started off with the 2 double crochets and then a corner? So that's what we're going to do over here, because we can see that 2 double crochets right there and then the corner space. Just remember, everybody, I'm not going all the way around in this tutorial. I'm only showing you a section of it to speed up the process so that it doesn't take me days to produce this video. And basically we just want to finish the corner off with the V-stitch. So we just double crochet and chain 1 and then double crochet in. And let's meet back up, so keep going all the way back around. We'll meet back up, we'll fasten this off and get on with your white, and this will be the very final, and then I'll show you how I did the border on this particular project as well. So we're now coming all the way back around, and we have our 2 double crochets underneath and then the corner, so that, again, this is right. So you can really see how easier it is to maintain the counts. Okay, and then we're going to go right into the corner, chain 1, and then right in. Okay, and so now I'm going to fasten off this. We're going to weave in our edges, and I'm going to just show you the white one more time, because the white is going to match exactly what you just see down over here, and I want to show you that because that is the repeat pattern right at this particular point.